OCA.
Thanks for watching, OCA.
Thanks for watching OCA.
They're not here.
And Miss Jessie. Cool items. Yes. Jesse just sent hers.
Okay, it's 5 o'clock. I'll call the Village Board of Oregon to order for Monday, August 19th, 2024. I'd ask the clerk to call a roll, please.
Kirchdorfer,
Here.
McDaniel,
Here.
Peterson,
Here.
and Van Kampen.
Here.
And Beshen, Higgins, and Mankey are all excused this evening.
Thank you. Item 3, approval of August 5th, 2024 Village Board meeting minutes if correct, and corrections of mistakes if any. Motion to approve, Tom?
Make motion.
And Lynn. Corrections, comments? Hearing none. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Item 4, public appearance, comments, and communications. A, oath of office and swearing in of Police Officer Kyle Onheiber.
So first, I'm just going to share a few details about Kyle. So as you know, we're hiring. Yes. So Kyle back here, if you want to raise your hand real quick, so perfect. So Kyle was born and raised in Madison, Wisconsin. He lives now with his family in Mount Horeb, he and his wife. He has completed 4.5 years of schooling and to obtain his bachelor's degree in social and criminal justice from the University of Arizona Global Campus. His last employer was the Rock County Sheriff's Office. So he worked as a correction officer there. Due to short staffing, I actually conducted his background investigation and heard nothing but very positive things about him. It was pretty clear to me that Rock County was sad to see him go, but understood and wished him the best of luck. He went through the Dane County Sheriff's Office Police Recruit Academy. Not a lot of local agencies use them. We have found really good luck with them. I know most of their instructors for the academy, worked with them for years. And I will say, Joe Krantz, you remember him? He was the last one that went through their academy. When I attended Kyle's graduation, 2 of the instructors walked up to me, 2 that I know well and respect a lot. And the first thing they asked me was, how are you finding such kind people? I said, well, we try really hard. And so I would certainly say Kyle is one of those people. He's very kind-hearted, hardworking, and is really excited about protecting and serving our community. The academy instructors keep us in the loop on how students do through the academy, and we heard nothing but very positive things about him, and he actually did quite exceptionally well. So we were very glad to hear that. So I just wanted to share a few details about him before we officially swear him in the formal way. We do the in the not informal way earlier before the academy starts, but because we have to, but this is the more exciting version of it. So,
Good.
do you have any questions before I move forward with swearing him in?
No.
No? All right.
Great.
Okay. All right, Kyle, if you want to come up.
I don't think that one.
I'm going to give you one copy. And then you'll be raising your right hand. All right. And then I'm going to so they can hear us. All
And
right.
why don't you each grab one of those microphones?
What?
What? Yeah.
Can you?
Because you gotta have.
There we go.
There you go.
Yeah, I had my thumb on the button. That's
All right.
All right. So if you could face me and raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Kyle M. Onheiber, do solemnly swear that I will support and comply with the Constitution of the United States of America,
I, Kyle M. Onheiber, do solemnly swear that I will support and comply with the Constitution of the United States of America,
the Constitution and laws of the state of Wisconsin,
the Constitution and the laws of the state of Wisconsin,
the charter, laws, and ordinances of the Village of Oregon,
the charter, laws, and ordinances of the Village of Oregon,
the rules and regulations of the Village of Oregon Police Department,
the rules and regulations of the Village of Oregon Police Department,
and the Law Enforcement Code of Ethics,
and the Law Enforcement Code of Ethics,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of my office as a sworn police officer of the Oregon Police Department.
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of my office as a sworn officer of the Oregon Police Department.
I will assume my duties as of March 18th, 2024.
I will assume my duties as of March 18th, 2024.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
I was gonna say, there goes our.
There was one.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, item 4B, public comment. This part of the agenda allows members of the public to provide information to the village board, including items both on and off the agenda. 15 minutes will be provided for this item with a 3-minute maximum per speaker. Otherwise, the agenda will proceed as posted. Anyone here for public comments? I guess not. Seeing none. Item 5, approval of vouchers. Approval of vouchers in the amount of $1,446.01. We're looking for a motion to approve. Tom and Amanda, questions, comments?
Yeah, I only had just one question. What's a UB refund? It was scattered throughout and I didn't know what a UB refund was.
That's a utility billing refund. It's usually typically happens when somebody sells their home. We get a payment from the homeowner and from the title company, and we always refund the previous homeowner.
Okay, anyone else? Okay, we have a motion second. This is a roll call vote.
That's right, it is, Phil.
I got it posted.
Van Campen,
Yes,
Kirchdorfer,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
and McDaniel.
Yes.
thank you. Item 6 is consent agenda. One item only, authorized review of building permit fee schedules to prevent possible changes for the 2025 fee schedule. A motion approved to the consent agenda as presented. Amanda and Tom, questions, comments? Hearing none. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Item 7, reports of committees. Items for discussion and/or possible action. Without objection, 1 through 7 are ordinances, which we'll approve individually. But what I'd like to do is read those, get a motion in a second, and then discussion.
Sure.
Okay? Starting with 1, ordinance number 2409, an ordinance amending section 17-15 of the Village of Oregon Municipal Code relating to the definition of family. Recommendation to approve, Amanda and Lynn. Questions, comments? Hearing none. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Item 2, ordinance number 24-10, an ordinance amending section 17-105, sub 1, sub A dash sub 6, sub A, and section 17-015 of the Village of Oregon Municipal Code relating to driveway paved surface setback. For motion to approve, Lynn and Tom. Discussion. Amanda, please.
I was just curious how all these changes came about. Is this just through normally going through our ordinances and we decided they needed updating, or was this prompted by something?
Yeah, so there is a cover memo ahead of all these ordinances. It was before the first one, kind of just describing the goal or intent of each change. We did have these before you, I think, in late spring, kind of as a preview too, but these were a lot of items that have been on my list or Jeff's list for the last couple of years. Also things that were recommended by either Derek or from Van de Waal as just updates to better reflect and be in line with state legislature changes. So other are, like I said, recommendations from the Housing Affordability Report, little things we can do to be, like, for example, more inclusive of different types of families. And so that was what the first one was about. But these are sort of lower hanging fruit, more straightforward options, although it still took us over a year to get to this point. So even the simple ones take time. But yeah, and then there were 2 in the hopper you may have seen earlier this spring. One was related to chicken and beekeeping. The other one was exposed fasteners on metal buildings, and those were tabled at the August meeting too. So I'm not sure if I mentioned that in the packet, but those will be coming before you at a later date, most likely.
Okay. And just to clarify, there's no, like anybody who, people are grandfathered in if they don't meet these requirements for setbacks now, right?
Right.
I
This
mean,
is for any new
this is
project
new
moving
construction
forward.
going forward. Got it.
Anybody else? Okay, we have a motion second. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed, motion carries. Thank you. Item 3, ordinance number 24-13, ordinance amending section 17-720 of the Village of Oregon Municipal Code related to fence height. Looking for a motion to approve. Amanda and Lynn, questions, comments? Hearing none. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Item 4, ordinance number 24-14, an ordinance amending section 17-910 of the Village of Oregon Municipal Code relating to variance review and approval procedures. A motion, Amanda and Tom. Questions, comments? Hearing none. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Thank you. Item 5, ordinance number 24-15, an ordinance amending sections 17-206, sub 4, sub G, and 17-811 of the Village of Oregon Municipal Code relating to signs. Motion to approve. Tom and Amanda. Discussion.
I
Tom,
had
please.
Just a clarification. So the 2 daily notice boards, that's only if they have 2 drive-throughs? Is that correct?
Right.
And then the allowable sign applies to any, if they only have 1, that's just 1 sign, 1, okay.
Okay, anybody else? Okay, we have a motion second. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 6, ordinance number 24-16, an ordinance amending section 17-206, sub 4, sub K dash sub 1 of the Village of Oregon Municipal Code relating to commercial indoor lodging and bed and breakfast establishments. Amanda, I'll second it. Questions, comments? Hearing none. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Item 7, ordinance number 24-17, an ordinance amending section 17-514, sub 2 of the Village of Oregon Municipal Code relating to the Wellhead Protection Overlay Zoning District. Motion. Amanda and Tom, questions, comments?
Could I just get a clarification
Please.
what a wellhead protection overlay zoning district is?
What it is.
Yeah.
So it's an area where drilling of other wells or anything that would kind of impact the underground aquifer in around our wells, it limits that activity around the wells. So we're just adding well 6 here now since we'll have a new well, or we do have one.
Good.
Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay, we have a motion second. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Back to normal business. Item 8, please.
Phil, would you mind if I wanted to just preface, for those who are watching, we've spent a ton of time on these. Planning Commission has spent a lot of time,
Yes.
although it seems as if we are just sort of like going through them. There's been a lot of discussion, and I want to thank the village staff for all of the detail work that you've done on these. It makes it fast for us to approve them because we've done a lot of that background work. So,
Yes. Thank you, Lynn.
Yeah.
Item 8, ordinance number 24-19, an ordinance amending the official zoning map for property located at 5414 County Highway CC to planned development and MR-8 multifamily development. The developer is Liberty Park LLC multifamily development. We have a motion to approve a recommendation to motion to approve as presented. Tom and Amanda, do you have something you want to add?
Sure. So I'm not sure that this project has actually made it to the board at any kind of concept review. I know a lot of you do attend and watch the planning commission meetings, but this has been, I think, had at least 2 conceptual presentations at the planning commission meeting, and then in August they had their GDP, basically just their zoning flexibility request from our multifamily zoning district. So not the SIP, the site plan details, that has not been approved yet. So that's lighting plan, landscaping, stormwater, that kind of thing. This is a property that's still in the town of Oregon. It's between the Methodist Church and Mulligan's. We did a similar process for the Regency multifamily project, which is just west of Village Hall here, kind of between Alpine and North Bergamot, but still in the town. They're as a developer, they still have this property under contract. They've not purchased it yet, but want to have assurance that they are able to do a building, of the size and scale, number of units, that kind of thing, that they would like to in order to make their project work before they move forward with closing. So following zoning approval, if that happens tonight, then I would anticipate that the closing would happen soon, and then annexation would come at a future meeting. So an annexation ordinance is the actual approval that brings the changes to municipal boundary, and then the annexation agreement would come before us too, and that would go through some fees and other kind of understandings of who's doing what. Is it the owners, is it the developers, the village, kind of who's responsible for paying for what and when. So that's all to be worked on post zoning approvals. But the project is 154 unit multifamily building and then 6 townhomes. Most of the parking is underground, so there's not a lot of paved surfaces on the site other than the buildings themselves, but this is kind of a good view here. So you can see the parking is actually 1.5 stories. So because it's a uphill site, parking is kind of this whole first level, and then there's another entrance kind of on the second level too. So almost all the guest parking and resident parking meets our parking requirements, but most of it is down under the building. So, but transitions kind of into more of the 2-story townhomes, duplexes, things that face that or back up to that on Oregon Parks Avenue. But happy to answer any questions about the project or the process. It's a little bit different just with this annexation. So this would just be, assuming you guys would approve this tonight, would be the zoning is still contingent upon annexation. It's just sort of a piece of paper until it's really brought into the village.
Tom?
Okay, I just noted there's a couple exceptions in the zoning that's being requested, and I guess one was the density.
Mm-hmm.
And what is our normal density that this is a deviation from? So they're looking at 20, I think it was 28.
28, yeah. So our densest zoning district is this MR8 multifamily. It's called mixed residential zoning. So that only allows 8 dwelling units an acre by right. So pretty much all of our multifamily developments, even townhomes, are typically denser than that. At this point, we just don't have a denser zoning district. Maybe something we want to talk about in the future.
Okay. And then the other piece I had was on their letter of intent on they only noted the density exception, but you also noted a height exception.
Yeah,
What's
I think
normal height?
that was just something that I don't think they caught in and depending on how you measure the height and what side of the building you're looking at, but just for to give them that flexibility in case, again, the final grading and things are still being worked on for that site plan review, but you can see here, so this side, if you're looking at that underground parking entrance to the top, it's not really quite 4 stories. It's sort of built into the hill, but that's just over 40 feet. It's 40 feet, 8 inches. This side's 35 feet is by right the maximum height for the zoning district too. So it's not too far above and beyond that. And again, it's more, it's that end with the.
They noted a
underground parking.
45-foot height, plus or minus on there.
Yeah.
You had 41 for the exception, so.
Okay. Yeah, I can make sure we get that cleared up.
Lynn, please.
So I didn't see anything in regards to this. I don't know if I'm too ahead of myself. Are these planned to be market rate or affordable units?
These would be market rate.
Okay.
And this is not in a TIF district, so would not
Got
be a TID request coming before you for this.
Okay.
Tom?
Also noticed on the landscaping, it's on page 90 of the packet. They're maintaining a pretty substantial amount of the trees along the perimeters of that. There's a very heavy wooded lot right now. There will be a lot of tree removal,
Right.
but they're maintaining those borders around the edge, and there's quite a few trees that are being maintained there. It's just a notation.
Amanda, please.
I'm not sure all those trees are getting maintained.
Well, they have them marked that way.
They
Yeah,
have it marked that way.
That's not a landscaping plan. This is just for zoning, right? It's
Yeah,
sort of
this
a-
is just conceptual, really, to see where they're headed with landscaping. Again, they'll still, as the SIP, the specific implementation plan, that step, they'll have to prove that they're meeting our landscaping requirements. How this is drawn right now definitely exceeds the number of trees and shrubs and that kind of thing, the landscaping points that they'd be required to have. I think this is definitely an optimistic scenario, and that's been pointed out by the planning commission. They even had some renderings that was, showed the whole thing was just trees and you could barely see the building. They said, well, it's probably not going to look quite like that, and get what they're going for. But yeah, we'll have them, whatever is shown on the approved landscaping plan, they'll still need to meet those requirements. So once the building's up, can see what's remaining and make sure that they have those minimums met.
Lynn, please.
So just one more thing, and again, maybe I'm ahead of myself, but When I'm looking at if you go to page 79, the aerial view of this, I'm wondering if there has been discussion about connecting these people to like a path back to Oregon, like to get to the library.
Mhm.
Currently, all of these units would need to go out onto County Highway CC and then turn left onto Alpine, correct?
Mhm.
Is that something we could discuss with them about, like if you wanted to walk to the library, as you probably would want to if you lived this close,
Mhm.
right? To be able to access that through Oregon Parks Avenue? I'm sure I'm ahead of myself,
Yeah.
but
No, we've talked a lot about kind of neighborhood connections here. There is a plan like sidewalk connection towards Mulligan. So as far as like getting to some of the amenities and the neighborhood park that's here, Liberty Park. But I have encouraged them to reach out to the Methodist Church. Obviously, that's private property, but to see if that's something that they'd be willing to have a small footpath maintained to connect through there. And then of course when the road is reconstructed, that will all be, they'll likely contribute funds for future improvements, and then as well as a sidewalk or path there. I'm not sure if we'll have them build that ahead of the reconstruction or just hold those funds, but when that happens, and that's I think right now planned for construction in 2028, there would be a connection definitely to get them over to Alpine.
okay. The reason I bring it up is like I'm not opposed to changing this to multifamily, but I want to make sure that when those families get there, they can access some of those services. Obviously, 2028 is going to be great, and I am excited about that. But if there was a way, like you said, that we could connect just to the Methodist Church for a little while, that would make me feel better to change this to multifamily, knowing that like all of those families then have access, safe and easy access to some of those services. So, not a requirement, but just something I think we could try and encourage.
Okay, anybody else? We have a motion and a second. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Item 9, conditional use permit and agreement for Create in the 608 LLC doing business as Oregon Floral and Crafts to allow indoor and outdoor commercial and entertainment in the planned business zoning district located at 933 North Main Street. Get a motion, please. Amanda and Lynn, questions, comments for Elise, I suspect.
I will note the conditional use agreement. We're kind of working on an updated template that the County Register of Deeds likes to see. So there was some minor changes that Derek just sent to Martin and I today. So nothing substantive, no changes to the conditions or anything, just a little bit different wording that the county will actually accept and record. These are tied to the deeds. So if you do make a motion, it would just be on this. This agreement was not
Sorry.
in the packet, but very similar to the one that was in the packet.
Okay, Amanda.
Is this the same owner that owned Oregon Floral, just changing? Oh,
No,
okay, new
so
owner.
I think
Okay.
the former owner of Oregon Floral, I believe, is still the property owner or is still associated with the building. So they're planning right now to keep like the Oregon Floral signage and things that are up. Oregon Floral and Craft would be the name of this business, but different operator.
Okay.
Same location. They'll still have the floral shop and coolers and things like that to be able to come and buy flowers, but then also the classes and kind of a gift shop area too.
Okay, anybody else? We have a motion second. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item 8, unfinished business. Item for discussion and or possible action. A new senior center and community gymnasium draft request for proposals for architectural services. Recommendation, motion approved draft and authorized process as presented. This is, I think, basically we approved last month the process. This is basically the document. Tom, looks like are you making a motion to approve,
Yes.
Tom? All right. And Amanda, second. discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. 8B, Water System Needs Assessment and Impact Pay Study. I will open a public hearing. The public hearing allows members of the public to provide information to the village board related to the subject at hand. A time limit of 3 minutes per speaker is set, otherwise modified village board. And Lauren, do you have comments for us?
Nope, nothing additional to what's in the packet.
Okay. Any here for public comments? Seeing none, I will then close the public hearing. Item 2, 8.2, ordinance number 24-20, an ordinance amending section 3.11 of the Village of Oregon Code of Ordinances related to the water facilities impact fee. We had a lengthy presentation and discussion at this previous meetings. I think this is just putting this in place. Looking for a motion to approve. Amanda and Tom, questions, comments? Hearing none. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Items 8C, to review draft 2025 through 2034 capital improvement plan and related preliminary long-range financial impact and analysis. Martin?
I don't have anything else to add. This was on the last 2 meetings. All the information is in the packet. I took out the one analysis scenario that didn't include potential business park expenses. So there's just one in there with that included. If there's any questions, we're happy to answer them. Anything that is desired to be moved around, added, removed, we're happy to hear that feedback. So this will be on, I guess technically will be on the next meeting as well. Ellers will be here. They'll do their annual presentation of the financial management plan update for the village, which will include a lot of this information, including the analysis component of it. So they'll firm that up. And then they'll also have the water and sewer cash flow. There's a preliminary water cash flow in this packet that we did earlier. So we'll just see all of that impact for all the stuff that we have planned moving forward. And that'll segue us right into the 2025 budget process.
Okay, questions, comments from Martin? Lynn?
I just have the most tedious comment, Martin. So when I say this, just take a deep breath and know that I'm normally not this picky, but I would really love it. This has just been bothering me, so now I'm just going to see if you can change it. In the Public Works Facilities Project section, it says Facilities Village Hall Solar, and it's at $300,000. But that's solar and roof replacement. Can you write roof replacement so that it doesn't look like solar panels cost $300,000?
Sure.
Thanks so much.
Lynn will sleep better tonight.
Yes, I will. Thank you so much.
I got that off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Anyone else? All right, thank you, Martin. Item 9, new business, none. Item 10, reports of village officers, department heads, and consultants. Informational only, no action by the village board will be taken. See reports in the meeting packet. 10A, the village administrator report. Questions or comments for Martin? See none. Item 10, 10B, finance director report. Building permits, impact fees, and connection fees collected ending July 2024. Lisa's here if you have questions. I'm sorry. Oh, we'll have a temporary recess.
Oh, she's just going to.
And we're back. Thank you. Village administrator report. Oh yes, we got past that. Finance director report. Lisa's information was in the packet. Lisa's here if you have questions for her or if she has additional comments. None? Seeing none? Thank you. Item 11, announcements and miscellaneous business. A, announcements, comments, communications, upcoming meetings and events, and miscellaneous business. Village board members may provide brief statements, but no discussion or action of the body shall occur. Item 1, Oregon Area First Responder Celebration on Sunday, August 25th, 2024, from 2:30 to 7:30. Speakers begin at 3:15 p.m. Located at Spring Street between Brook and Park Street. Anyone have anything to add to that? Chief, please.
Yeah, I'm just going to add quickly, over this last year, we unfortunately had one of our crossing guards pass away. And even though as he was terminally really fighting the illness he had, he still worked for us. He still got out. He was a crossing guard, still got out, crossed the kids. That meant a lot to him. So we're actually going to recognize his service with our department and provide a small gift to his family. So it'd be really great if you all could be there to be a part of that moment. We'd really appreciate it.
Thank you. Anybody else on that item? Tom?
I have a couple items. First off, there was a recent, I believe it was Channel 15 story in relationship to the Oregon Food Pantry and the circumstances at the food pantry right now. The volume of guests has risen dramatically with the economic circumstances of high inflation and the difficulties that people have right now. It also winds up with an economic circumstance that is when you have high inflation and people are struggling, donations tend to go down. And so right now we're in that state where the demand is high and our donations are low, and we need to really encourage the community to pick up and support that in any way. If anybody has ideas, suggestions, I suggest they contact the food pantry. And then I also have I want to give a big shout out to the Oregon Community Swim Club, who this weekend hosted the triathlon, youth triathlon. It was a great event. I think there was 600 or 700 swimmers and participants. They were professional. It was efficient. I was not able to attend last year, so I was really pleased this year to watch the efficiency that they've worked. They processed through those 600 or 700 participants in about 3 hours, and they just it was pretty amazing. They had kids for all ranges, kids on bikes with training wheels who couldn't get over the timing humps, who did a great. They all worked hard, and just a big shout out to a lot of volunteers that took a tremendous effort, and that they represented Oregon very well. It was very nice event.
Great. Thank you, Tom. Lynn?
So I wanted to show you something that's been added to the village boardroom in the back corner. We have added some busy bags. This is courtesy of the Village Outreach Program, by the way, so good job, Village Outreach Program. There are 5 of these, so I wanted to show you all and then anyone who's watching. So there are 5 of these cloth bags. They have coloring books and toys for kids who are here with their parents. If you want to come to public comment, but finding childcare is difficult, we've got things to keep them busy. Or village staff, if you're feeling like it's been a slow meeting, feel free to take a coloring book and try some things out. But they're located in the back of the boardroom in this back corner, and kids are allowed to pick them up at any time when they're here. If there's a neighborhood meeting or a committee meeting, it just sort of helps encourage families to feel like they can bring their kids if they need to come and express something during a meeting.
Excellent. Thank you, Lynn. Anybody else? Okay. Amanda, looks like you have something.
Yeah, I just, the Public Transportation Committee that's on there for the 15th didn't happen because we didn't have information yet, but I think we're going to aim for doing that on the 29th. So just watch the calendar and the village website for the packets and agenda because we'll have one soon.
11B, future agenda items. Hearing none. Item 12, closed session business items for discussion and or possible action under Wisconsin statutes 19.85, sub 1, sub E. Deliberating or negotiating the purchase of public properties, the investment of public funds, or conducting other specified public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session. Attendance is limited to the village board and its discretion, and necessary staff, other officers, or other individuals whose presence is necessary for the business at hand. Item A is discussion of possible action regarding allocation of Section 179D tax deduction benefits related to the Oregon Public Library project. And B is school resource officer agreement 2024 to 2026 with the Oregon School District. Looking for a motion to move into closed session. Tom and Amanda, this is a roll call vote.
Peterson,
Yes.
McDaniel,
Yes.
Kirchdorfer,
Yes.
and Van Campen.
Yes, we are in closed session.